the Gucci's. The next purchase that I want Jamal to get for me is a Prada bucket hat. Like, he knows the girl he got with. I'm a female. You're my boyfriend. I expect for my boyfriend to look after me, like, and that's just it. So you bringing this up is, you know,
Tell me.
I'm not really understanding.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. We are giving you guys a review around around Bkchat, particular episode where we're dealing with Deborah and Jamal again once more. Now we're doing a coaching session this time. We're going to kind of break things down, kind of give some really practical tips on how to move this relationship forward if that's what needs to happen. But we need to be able to coach them and be able to help them maneuver this difficult time in their relationship. Okay, so it's gonna be less about how you feel, less about how we feel, but dealing with what we're seeing in front of us on the screen and really trying to ask some critical questions that will help the couple hopefully make an informed decision going forward, whether that's for going forward together or even splitting up. But we don't want to give them any, say this is how they should do. We're trying to get them to open their eyes to see what is the best possible route to go as a couple together. They have the answers, and we're just here to ask questions to unwrap those answers within themselves. So if you're new to the channel, please do like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notifications that uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, you got the minerals, you got the minerals. Listen, you already know what it says here. Stay hydrated, you understand? Stay hydrated, okay? Because the streets are hot up in there, okay? Yeah, the streets are hot up in there, okay? Let's get it going. I want to break this down for you first of all. Okay, expectations, wants, and needs. Okay, they are not the same. Expectation, wants, and needs. Now, if you guys have followed me long enough, you know my my motto PEW, which is position, expectation, wants. Listen, if anybody ever uses PEW, that's my thing. Yeah, call them out. It's my thing. Anyway, PEW is position, expectation, wants. You state your position. This is what I am. Let's say, for instance, I like you. Here's my expectation from that. I expect that you will want to go into a relationship because that's my expectation as well. My expectation is I want to go into a relationship. And the W stands for wants. What do they want? Because now, once you stated your position and your expectation, they now know what you want. And so now they have an opportunity to say yes or nah. And so when we're dealing with relationships, we are constantly asking that question, PEW, where do you stand? That's position. Where do you stand at this moment? And where you're standing, what expectation comes of that? Now, we've heard from Deborah in that scene. Her expectation, her standing is, I've got a relationship with you, but her expectation is, I want gifts to be bought for me. And that's important. She's voiced her expectation. This is why I said I'm not looking at whether she's immature or not, because that's not the question we ask when we're coaching. We ask this question, what is the expectation? And now once you stated your expectation, what does he respond with? Let's look a bit more of the clip.
When he gives you these gifts, what does that make you feel like?
It makes me feel like a princess. When I was younger, my dad, even till this day, like, he treats me like a princess, and that's my expectation of a man.
Now, I don't want to go too deep too quickly because I'm going to come back to that clip. It's a really good clip as well, where it speaks about what she's expecting and how the expectation comes from somewhere. Now, that's really good that she can actually point that out, because that actually saves us a lot of time when we're asking that question, right? Where does those expectations and ideals that you have, where do they come from? Because it's so important to assess the source of the information so that we can begin to also tackle some of those sources. Because sometimes the source be sourcing, but it ain't correct. You know what I'm saying? It's not that source, it's the source where it comes from, yeah? All right. So, your wants are what you like, okay, and the needs are what are essential. And this is where relationships often falter. Is it a need or is it a want? Because if it's a want, and we're just disregard PEW for now, all right, we're talking about wants versus needs now. Something that's a want isn't essential, okay? What you need is essential. What you want is, I like this, I would prefer this. But the need is, this has to happen. I have no other choice, but this has to happen. Okay. All right. Expectations are strong beliefs that we want to happen. In fact, we're pushing for it to happen. All right. And so those expectations we just watched on the video, her expectations flow from her father. Where do expectations flow from? They flow from what she has seen. It flows from her environment. It flows from how she's been reared. And so now she's placing those expectations on her partner. Rightly or wrongly, that is the expectation. Now, what we can do is two things. Either we can shift her perspective of expectation, or we can shift his expectation of shift his perception of expectation, right? Or the third option is they're gonna both say, I can't move, and we quit the relationship. Let's say it again for you. In this scenario of coaching, there's three options on the table. We shift her perspective of expectation, or we shift his perspective of expectation, or they just don't agree and they say we can't move our expectations, we go our separate ways. Okay, right? So our job as a coach here is to bring to the foreground, you have three options on the table. You move, or you go separate ways. Right? Now, I wouldn't present that as I'm telling them that, but we would get them to understand by letting them think it out, that these are the options on the table. And within those options, then there are different options in how we go about providing either her perspective or his perspective being changed or going forward and them not going anywhere. Okay. One of the questions you want to be asking yourself in this scenario is, what do you see in your future at the moment, right? Because we're both saying, our position is we both like each other, we love each other, we care for each other. The expectations are where we're clashing. She has an expectation. And so in that expectation, one of the questions we're asking here is, how do you see your life in the future? Let's go to a clip where they speak a little bit about expectation in terms of how they see their life going.
You, as my man, is to provide for me at this present moment in time. Like I said, when we get married, if we get married, then we'll think about things that I need to do. But for now, you need to take us there.
That's her vision of the future, okay? That he has to sort everything else out. The house situation, that's his job, okay? Looking after her, that's his job. Treating her basically, that's a you job. That's her expectation of how she wants to see the future going. Okay, that's how she sees it going. Now, let's listen to a bit about his particular viewpoint of the future and see if it actually matches, okay?
I don't think I'm asking for too much to look. Do you not want me to look good?
Babe,
do you not want me to look good?
I would love you to look good, but I feel like I'm 27 right now and she's 24. So me, I'm looking at assets, I'm looking at builds, I'm thinking about building our future.
I don't think age's got to do anything with this.
Because I feel like you're just here for the fast life, you're here for the now, you're not thinking forward.
So now his vision of the future is, I'm looking to build, right? I'm looking to build. And later on, he actually explained, said, when I'm looking to build, I'm not looking to build alone. Do both of your futures make sense? How does your futures correlate? Are they an alignment? Are they making sense? This is very, very important because both parties are going to feel a certain type of way about their future, and we need to be able to picture it and say, you've got the same picture. When you don't, there's going to be issues. That's why expectations being voiced are very, very important. What are your future goals, ambitions? Okay, and what's the time scale of these? Right, he mentions a little bit about this. Okay, he mentioned a little bit about this in this clip here.
Like, I'm looking to buy a house. I've got a project in Ghana I'm obviously sorting out. Obviously got a new project I'm even doing, a health retreat as well, which obviously costs a lot of money. And I just feel like Deborah needs to actually understand money, understand the value of money and the time that needs to be put into that.
Deborah doesn't really value money.
So there's an issue here where we've got future goals being spoken about, ambitions, and whether they're aligning once more again. He's spoken about, I want to build this, I want to do that, I want to do that. Is it in alignment with her particular thought process? When I watched the clip after that, do you hear her acknowledging that, hey, I want those things too? We don't. We hear her acknowledging and saying, what about my presents though? What about my gifts though? That, what you're talking about is an excuse. So the alignment of the future and the goals and the ambitions and even timescales of we doing those things don't seem to be in alignment. This is a question you have to ask yourself as a couple if we're having those kind of problems. Okay. Thirdly, what are your actual expectations of each other in terms of a relationship? We heard, quite frankly, the other time we heard from her earlier on where they spoke about, in the future when she becomes married, then we can talk about my particular position. But is that how he feels? No, because he's actually asking her what she does now. I know we can go to the clip here. He's actually asking her what she does now. Okay.
How would you like me to help you? I don't understand.
Do you even save? That's
Oh my gosh, we're not going to discuss about that. But that's what we're not going to do. I don't want to talk about what my savings on TV, like, it's not that serious. The fact is, you're my boyfriend, and what I expect of you as my man is to provide for me at this present moment in time. Like I said, when we get married, if we get married, then we'll think about things that I need to do. But
so the expectations of her are being voiced quite clearly, but his expectation of her is it's being voiced, but it's not being very clear, and then it's getting shut down, right? He said, like, you don't even make savings. Okay, cool. What do you expect from her? You want her to save? I don't like the way she's saying it. Let me be very frank with you. I don't like the way she's saying it, but she's at least voicing it, so we know where she stands. But we need him to voice his opinion right now. So this is why a question that would have been asked maybe for the coaching here would have been, okay, fantastic. We've heard her expectations. Now, Jamil, what are you expecting? I need you to let it be clear. What are you expecting from Deborah? Because the question you ask is, do you even save? It's actually not it's not actually very clear and succinct in terms of what you're expecting. You're just saying a question. Okay, so you need to be able to state, I expect from you, also as well, to contribute towards this journey. And here's how I want you to contribute towards the journey. I'm trying to build a thing in Ghana. So what I would love for you to do, you work 9 to 5 like I do. Let's start putting finances aside. Let's start working together, putting our finances collectively to start building our things for Ghana, start getting our house ready so we can move into, start our wedding fund so we can start, getting ourselves ready to get married and stuff. This is where I expect you to contribute towards the vision, right? And I'm speaking to myself right now because it's not always that I'm very clear and succinct on what my vision is. It's only till recently that I've like, whoa, like, no. I just realized, bro, I've got a vision now, and I've got to make sure I speak it down. So there's certain girl I cannot be thinking about going to relationship with because we're not going to have the same vision. That's fine. Right? Different expectations. That's fine. So long as we're stating them and we know what they are. Okay. So here we see, they have different expectations and timescales alongside with that as well. Okay. So what we want to get down to now is I would like do an exercise, right? An exercise that is very, very simple. Okay. And the exercise here is simply that, the exercise here that you simply want to do now is get a piece of paper, right? Piece of paper and a pen, okay? Piece of paper and a pen. And what these two are going to want to do, okay, is now begin to write out what their expectations are. All their expectations of what they expect from the partner. They need to write out every expectation of what they think they want from their partner, okay? And when you list them, okay, and you finalize it and you finish it, you swap it with your partner, okay? And when you swap it with your partner, what you're going to do now, okay, is look at their expectation list. And we're gonna separate them into 3 categories, okay? We're gonna split it into yes, I agree with a tick. We're gonna split it into ICD, which means I could do. Okay, and then we're going to put it into the X column, which is I can't do it. This is not happening, right? This is for me not going to happen, right? Those 3 columns are going to make it very, very clear in terms of where we stand with each other. Okay, right? So the first thing is, okay, in the expectation column, yes, that you agree with. This is expectations. When you've got the other person's sheet, yes, I agree with this. X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z. I agree with that. Fantastic. Then the next thing you're gonna go down and say, okay, ICD, meaning I could do this. I'm not currently doing it, but I could do this. Okay, very, very important. And the last column again, what we said is that what? Then you're gonna put an X next to this I cannot do. This I cannot do. This I cannot do. Now, let's focus on the ICD problems. I can do. We've got some questions we have to ask the person. Okay, if there are some expectations that I can do, what is that? What does that mean? Okay, cool. So let's discuss ICD. What are the things that are prohibiting you from making ICD happen? What's stopping you from making this happen now? Is it your finances? Is it the fact that you're not ready to at this time? Is it the fact you don't feel you have the skills or the knowledge or the resources? Like, what is stopping you from making the expectations on the other person's list possible now? Okay, what is stopping you from getting to that space right now? A great question to ask. Okay, and then we're gonna have to write down from that point of view, write down the ways to overcome those obstacles. So the things that you're saying ICD that I could do, write down ways to overcome the obstacles. Again, remember, it's not about me telling you. I'm not telling you anything. You have the answers. I am here to help you. When I'm coaching, rather than maybe doing, I guess, relationship advice. Now, I tend not to do relationship advice now anyway. I tend to more do coaching. When we're doing the coaching aspect of things, we're trying to get you to have the answer. I don't want to tell you what the answer is because I'm not in your relationship and I'm not you. And it also saves you from getting blasted later on if it doesn't work out. They made a choice, not you. Right? So write down the ways to overcome these obstacles. Okay. And then finally, the last question is, what type of support would you need in order to accomplish the goal? What type of support would you need in order to accomplish the goal? Ask yourself that key question. What is it that you need to accomplish that goal now? Because you said obviously write down ways to overcome the obstacles, but what support would you need? Maybe you don't need any, and that's fine. But at least now we know there are some support that you would need from the person. Okay. And then the last column that we're dealing with now is the X column. This is the column that you said you can't move. This is the column that you said you're not shifting. This is the column that you said, listen, it's not for me. Okay. Now, the first question I want to ask is this: why is that expectation an X for you? Why is that expectation a non-starter for you? Can you answer that question? Why is that question a non-starter for you? What is it about that question that stops? What is it about that expectation that you said you don't agree with and you're not going to shift at this moment in time? Okay. And then for the person who wrote down the expectation originally, which one of these would you say that you would struggle not to have? Like you're saying obviously it's an X, right? No, sorry. When you've seen an X from your partner on that expectation, which one of those X's that he's put down there could you say that he or she has put down there that you say I can't change that? So where the partners put X next to your expectation, which one of those expectations, if all of them or just a few of them, are you saying I can't live without that? I can't live without you. Which one can you say that you can't live without? That I just can't move on that. And then we want to know why you can't live without that. Why is it that you can't move from that expectation? What is it about that expectation? What does it mean to you? Because if you're saying you can't move from that spot, you say this is an expectation I cannot shift, then the partner on the other side who said they can't do it at all, you need to let them know what this expectation means for you. Let me make it very, very clear again. On your expectation list that you wrote out for yourself, that you expect your partner to do, when your partner took your sheet, he put an X next to the ones of expectations that he feels he or she cannot do. You've now got your sheet back and you're looking at the X's on the sheet and you're looking at it going, asking yourself this question: which one of these would you struggle not to have in a relationship? If the relationship was to continue to go forward, which one would you struggle not to have? And then when you said you said you struggle not to be able to have that expectation, okay, then you need to explain what is the meaning of that expectation. Why is it so important to you? So the other person knows. Okay, so the other person knows. And then for the partner who then put the X's next to the expectations that they cannot do, for the partner who obviously wrote down expectations and has got the sheet back with the X's saying this is what they cannot do, what you want to be doing is, which one is a deal breaker? Which one are you? Which one of your expectations did you put down that you said if they cannot do, it is a deal breaker? And then you need to discuss why is it a deal breaker and the consequences of deal breaking. Some deal breakers are not necessarily meaning relationship ends, but let's say for a deal breaker that will end the relationship, why is that? Why is that? Why is it? Let the person know. So that come to a place of understanding. Relationships are about understanding. If I don't understand you, I'm going to lack empathy, more than likely. When people begin to understand your plight and your thought process, they tend to have more empathy. So let's leave it there. That was my little coaching session in terms of relationship, handling their relationship, expectation, wants versus needs. Look out for the book that's going to be coming out because we're talking about expectation, wants, and needs. Yeah, we appreciate you. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. If you want a coaching session as well, listen, if you're looking for a coaching session as well, let us know. Hit us up on littleblackbook@gmail.com. I take couples, I take singles, I take people that are dating. Okay. If you want some relationship coaching, let me know. Hit me up in the email. It does cost a little bit. It's not free. We don't do it for free around here. Time is expensive. We'll look in that and see how we can best help you. But again, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of uploads. We appreciate you, and we will see you soon once again.